welcome to the video for today. Today we are going to be reviewing for your Mod 5 test. So we're going to be talking about finding slope and y-intercept and being able to write them in an equation form of y equals blank x plus blank, where we fit the slope in this first blank and we put the y-intercept in the second blank. All right, and we can pull it off of a graph or a chart. All right, in here, step 1, in the slope-intercept y equation, what is b? Where does the line cross the y-axis? And we can see right here, they're counting by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35. So we can see that that y-intercept is 35. So now they want us to select any 2 points on the line. And what is the rise? Now, your 2 points might not be the same as mine. I'm going to pick this point that we already have, and I'm going to pick this point right here. There are certainly some other ones in between, but this is what I'm going to pick. So they want me to focus on the rise. So from 1 dot, how many do I go up? Well, I'm at 0, and I go all the way up to 35. And then how many am I running? Well, I run and go across. They're counting by ones that way, and that is 7. So they want me to take the rise and divide by the run. So I get 35 divided by 7, and the answer is 5. So the slope for this particular equation is actually 5. So we can fill in 5 in our first blank, and then in our second blank, we can put in 35. That was the question to number 1. All right, the next few problems are going to be involving the second diagram. So what is the y-intercept? And the y-intercept is b. So where is this line crossing the y-axis? And it looks like it's right there at 0, 0. So now what is the slope? Well, let me check. They're counting by ones. They don't have every line labeled, but they are counting by ones. So I go up 1 over 2. Up 1 over 2. Remember, we always write it as a ratio, and we're going to rise 1, and we're going to go right 2. So if I go up 1, right 2, up 1, right 2, and I end up with a point on that line. So the equation of this line is y equals, and my slope is next, 1/2 x. And you can stop right there, and this can be your equation. Or if you wanted to on the test and you wrote plus 0, that would be fine. But just remember, more than likely, they are not going to have this plus 0 as an option in here. All right, number 10, in order to have a y-intercept of 4 and the same slope, so same slope, how would we need to change the line? Well, I'm going to start at y-intercept of 4. So that's where I would start my line, and now I do the same slope. So they want me to do the same slope, and we found that other slope to be 1/2. So I would go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2, and I would get some other points in there. So the big thing that's different here is that I would start at a different y-intercept. All right, what else do they have in here? All right, we've got some tables. So complete the table, then write an equation in slope-intercept form. So they're saying here a single serve coffee maker cost 70 bucks. So it costs $70. So if you just go to the store and buy it and never use it, you have paid $70 for this. So that is our initial value. That is my y-intercept. So when I'm writing my equation, my second blank is going to be my 70. All right, now what's it saying? Plus 20 cents for every coffee. So if you only have one coffee, that's going to be $70.20. If you have 2 coffees, you've spent $70.40. If you have 3 coffees, you've spent $70.60. So what's the change every time? And this is going to be 0.2. That's what our slope is. All right, a bowling alley charges $3 to rent shoes and $1.50 per game. So if we bowl one game it's going to be $3 for the shoes and $1.50 for the game. So it looks like it's going to be $4.50. So if we bowl 2 games, it's still going to be $3 for the shoes, but now if we're going to do 2 games, it's going to be $1.50 times 2. So that $1.50 times 2 is 3, and 3 plus 3 is 6. All right, so it's going up by $1.50 every time. So this one would be $7.50, and that's $8.59. So our equation here is going to be every time it's going up $1.50 x plus how much were my shoes? Shoes were $3. That's the initial value. So remember, if you go to the bowling alley and you just get a pair of shoes, it's going to cost you $3. And if you bowl no games. So if we went here 4, 3, 2, 1, 0 and take $1.50 off, it'd be 3, and that's where we're getting our y-intercept to be 3. All right, I think we have some more problems on here. So one more problem. The table shows the linear relationship of the number of months of membership at 2 gyms related to the total cost. So we have Gym A and Gym B. Write an equation for the total cost for each gym. Okay, so Gym A is going to have an equation, and Gym B is going to have an equation. Okay, so they want us to do that. Y equals blank x plus blank. Well, it doesn't look for Gym A. They don't tell us the slope, and they don't tell us the y-intercept. So remember, to find the slope, we need 2 ordered pairs. So we have 170, and we also have 290. So remember, my y values go on top. So these are my y values. So I have 90 minus 70 all over 2 minus 1. So 90 minus 70 is 20, and 2 minus 1 is 1. So my slope here for Gym A turns out to be 20. And let's see, is it going up by $20 every time? It sure is. So now what is that y-intercept? Well, we can do this 2 different ways. So y equals 20x plus, this is what I need to find out. So remember, this is my x and this is my y. So I can put 70 in place of y, and then in place of x, I'm going to put 1, and I'm solving for b. So the second step is always to multiply. 20 times 1 is 20. The third step is to either add or subtract, and we are going to subtract 20 from both sides, and we get 50 equals b. And remember, I added a 4th step, and the 4th step is to now go finish your equation. So this y-intercept is 50. The initial value is 50. Well, let's see if we kept this pattern going. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, and this was 20, so this is going to be 50. So look, we do have 0, 50, which totally makes sense that's why we got that for the y-intercept. All right, we're going to go do the same thing for Gym B. So for Gym B, I'm going to find out what my slope is. So I'm going to do that over here in green. So Gym B, that first ordered pair is 155. And the second ordered pair is 280. All right, so remember, y's go on top, x's go on the bottom. So I have 80 minus 55, and I have 2 minus 1. So what is 80 minus 55? I think we get 25 over 1. So we get this equation to be y equals 25x. Now we could plug in like I did in here in the red, or we know that this, if we find the next number here in this pattern, I will get this. So we're changing by 25 every time. So if I take 55 minus 25, 0, 3, I get 30. So it looks like my y-intercept is going to be 30. Remember, whenever this x value is 0, that is my y-intercept. All right, so those are my 2 equations. Now, part B, wants to know, suppose you're going to be a member for 10 months. Where should you go? So if you look, if you're after 1 month, you should go to Gym B. 2 months, Gym B is still cheaper. 3 months, Gym B is still cheaper. You can see it's getting closer, but Gym B is still closer. So let's do Gym A, and Gym A is going to be 20 times 10 plus 50. See where I'm just plugging a number in here for X and I'm plugging in the 10. So I have 200 plus 50. So it looks like Gym A is going to cost me $250. All right, Gym B has the equation 25 times 10 plus 30. So it's 250. Well, right there we can already see as soon as I add that 30, it's going to be more. So it's $280 if I were at Gym B. So for 10 months, I want to go to Gym A. So the more months I go, Gym A is going to be cheaper. All right, and then the last worksheet here is, do we have a linear relationship? Well, when you look at number 1, are all those dots, if I were to connect them, are they in a straight line? Yes, because that rate of change is constant. But now look at 2, and do you see how it has that little swoop in there? So this one is not linear. It does not have a constant rate of change. All right, numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all from this graph. So what is the slope? So let's see what they're counting by. 0, 30, 60. So it looks like they're counting by 30. Every time I go up one line, that is 30. So remember, I'm doing rise over run. So I went up one line from this dot to this dot. I went up one line, and now I went over a half over 1. So I have 30 divided by 1. So this slope is going to be 30 over 1. So that is letter A. The y-intercept, where does this line cross the y-axis? Well, you can see it's right here at that point 60, so that's letter B. And the equation, so now we have to have the 30 and the 60, so the slope goes in the first one. So renting a car for now 3 days, okay? So we could go over to the graph. One way would be to go over to this graph to 3 days and go up and over, so that's going to be at 150. Another way would be to replace this x with the number they're asking us to, 3, and then do your math. So 30 times 3 is 90, plus 60 is 150. So there's 2 different ways you could do that problem. All right, number 7. So whether you think this is linear or not. Okay, the height of a football kicked and the horizontal distance. So I would say the height and the horizontal distance is kind of going like this. So I would say this one is not linear. There's not a constant rate of change. All right, the perimeter of a square and its side length. All right, so every time the side length compared to the perimeter. So let's say the side length is 1, then the perimeter is going to be 4. If the side length is 2, then it's going to be 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, let's just do 1. If the side 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. Do all of these reduce to the same thing? Does 12 over 3 is 4? 8 over 2 is 4. 4 over 1 is 4. So yes, this is a linear relationship. All right, that should be it. Now good luck on your test.